Hello, welcome to another episode of Blind Hope with Rich. You guessed it, I'm Rich. Anyways, I hope everybody has had a good week. I know mine has been spectacular. Hard, but still spectacular. I've had a very busy time at work, put in some tough hours, I know some of you can relate to that. You know, I know I'm not the only one that has a challenging job. But, we get through it. And after we get through a tough day at work, I don't know about all of you, but I feel pretty accomplished. You know, it feels good to be like, I did that. I did that, you know, and that it does. It makes me feel good. And I like getting that feel good feeling. That's what, I try and talk about all the time is, staying positive, being motivated and keeping positive, that positive mindset. Because we really have to put in the footwork. We can't just sit here in our nice comfy chairs and think that we're going to get it through osmosis. We have to get up and we have to put in some footwork. You know, things don't always go the way we want, but they go the way that they're supposed to be. If I plan the outcome on things, all these things that I want to do, I'll tell you what, it's not going to work like that. And I'm going to end up finding myself disappointed. I've been told that it's okay to make plans, just don't plan the outcome because you never know when a bump in the road is going to happen, a pothole is going to get hit, and you're going to go swerving in a different direction. You know, so try and find the things that you can do to be positive. This week I wanted to talk about the gratitude I have for what I've gotten in my life, you know. And I want you guys to think of the things you're grateful for. Don't think of the things that are okay or whatever. Just think of the thing you're grateful for. It could be your children, it could be your parents, it could be your significant other, it could be your job, it could be you know all sorts of things. Right now, I'm thinking, about what I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful I have a job that I can go to, which got my review, and it turned out better than I could have hoped for. And I was like, wow, they recognized I put in some work, and that's awesome. My wife, she's doing fabulous. She found happiness again in doing the work she does. She's done most of her life. She is rocking it and she's finding the positive and she just exudes positivity and I love it. It's an awesome thing, you know, and things are looking good for us, financially we've been working hard financially to try and get out of the hole that we find ourselves in every so often. Sometimes it's a tough week to get through financially, but we do it, you know and now we're actually got our head above water and we're making plans, and I'm very excited about this. You know, I told you, a couple, oh, this would be 3 weeks ago, we went to a convention and it was a magnificent feeling I got off that convention. So positive and joyful I had, so much gratitude. It was amazing. Then I go, last weekend I go camping. It was a little bit cold in the evenings, got down in the 40s. And yeah, that was a little much. Um, but we still got to spend time with friends. We got to hear some people share their stories, about how they've recovered in their life and how their life is, turning out so much more positive now that they're not living the old lifestyle that they had. And that is amazing, to hear the success, the joy that they have because they chose to make a change. That's where it's at, people. If you don't like what you're feeling, you're probably needing to do something different, don't you think? I hear some people, say, I can't do anything different. I'm stuck. Ask for help. Get unstuck. Put one foot in front of the other. Do what you need to do. If you have a job you don't like, you have free time, maybe lunch break, maybe, you get off work early or something, or you have a day off, or whatever. Get on some websites, get your resume in, get yourself a job that you feel like is going to make you happier than where you're at. You want to build that happiness. I was talking, just now about us going camping. We're going camping again at the beginning of June. We're going camping at the end of June. We're going camping on the 4th of July weekend. We're going camping. Oh, when's the other one? We're going camping at the end of September. And then, we got something big coming up. We've just, we've got it going. We've got the plans, the things in the works. It's me and my wife's 5-year wedding anniversary in October. And we're going back to where we went for our honeymoon. I honestly was doubting that was going to happen because of finances. But things have all played into a position that we've already paid for the hotel room for 5 days and 4 nights. And now we're going to price Universal Studio theme parks in Orlando tickets. And we got to price our airfare. We get those 2 things done. We traveling. And the great thing is, we're just waiting right now for, some deals to pop off, for the airfare or for the Universal Studios tickets. We're just waiting for some deals to pop off. We got the money. We're ready. All we're doing now is trying to keep building in these months coming up to October. Keep ahead of our bills and eliminate the ones we can, which will be happening. And then after that, then keep building our savings so we have plenty of money. We can eat where we want. Yep, we can do that. We can go and we can merchandise at the theme parks, because you better believe me and my wife are going to be investigating this new epic theme park that has the new Harry Potter part to it. Because it's got the Ministry of Magic, and I'm not going to get into all the Harry Potter geek stuff that I'm all about, because I am a Harry Potter geek, and I'll own it. But it's another thing in my life that brings me joy. It's something that we need to build on these things, these joyous moments. Let these things that are in our lives be things that build us up. Let them be things that help us fill our spiritual bank, our bank of happiness. Let it fill us up by doing these things that bring us joy. If it's something, it can be something as simple as just taking a walk. It can be something simple, just talking to some friends. Things that make us feel good. And some days we need that more than anything. We need some things to make us feel good because we got some tough stuff going on in our lives. It's not easy for us. You never know what's going to hit you one day, and then the next. Could be great, could be, oh my gosh, but it's something, though, something to build with, get those, oh yeah moments, embrace it, feel it, reflect on it, and then plan, how am I going to build, this was great, where's my next opportunity? If this is great, what about this over here? Is this going to be great too? We build on that, and find the things that are motivating you and driving you and use those things that you recognize. Drive yourself up to a higher level of positivity, motivation, drive, desire, It's all there. You can do it. It doesn't matter if you're blind or visually impaired. It doesn't matter if you're, have depression issues. There's positivity to be had. You just have to try and reach out, do it, feel it, do some reflecting on it. I thinking about, so far just, the convention and the camp out that me and my wife already went to. How great that was. Our next camp out coming up, it's one that I've been going to on and off. Goodness, for 19, 20 years, you know, and it is an amazing camp out. There's literally like 150 or more people that camp out. They cook an entire hog, and we have this fresh, cooked hog smoked, and that they bring a big old giant smoker out there, throw all this hog in there, and they start cooking it on Friday, and it just cooks all night long. Somebody's awake, checking the temperature, making sure it's all regular. I mean, they take the effort to make this a fabulous camp out for everybody, and they put in an amazing amount of work. I'm so grateful for those people that do that because it's the things that bring me joy when I'm there. I love eating some, eating some hog and some homemade fries and some amazing desserts and all these other things that happen out there. Sitting in a circle, visiting with friends that I don't see because they're in another part of the state or in another state, and they come to this event. You know, I recognize that my life is about being a part of, not being apart from. You know, being a part of means that I can reach out and, there's somebody there. I can reach out. There's somebody over here. I can go over here and there's somebody else. It's around me because I want to be a part of, which means if you think about it, if you're in the part of, you want to be right in the middle, right? You want to be in the middle. So you have all that around you. If you're apart from, you're over here. And everybody else is over here cheering and having laughs and talking it up and having good times. You're over here. You might as well just ask for some reading material because you're going to end up on your pity pot. Don't do that. Be a part of. Yeah, it's scary to some people, man. Some people have some social anxiety. I totally understand. I respect that. For me, with my being blind, sometimes when there's a large group of people and I feel like I'm surrounded by them, I'm like, oh boy, anxiety's going up. And, I just, woosah. I have my wife's arm and, I'm just like, feel my anxiety going up a little. She goes, hey. We just take a little walk out and then we take a walk back in and I'm good. Just got to recoup. So, if you have those issues, if you're not somebody that wants to get out and try stuff, okay, what are your other options? Have you thought what your other options are? I don't like leaving the house. I've heard many people say that. I don't like to leave my house. I like being at home. I'm happy there. Okay, that's awesome. Let me see if I can help you be happier. Don't have to leave your house. There's all sorts of things people are doing online nowadays. Not just these social media sites like, YouTube or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, that Instagram. I don't know what else there is. There's tons of things that the younger generation are doing. And I know another one I know my daughter does is Discord. And she has people that are friends with her in California. She's never even been to California. And she had people and friends down southeast part of this of the United States, and never been there either. But she has friends that she's connected with because she sits in the house. She'll go to work, she'll come home. Sometimes she has a friend or two, in the city she lives in, and she'll go and they'll either come over and hang out at the house and watch movies and eat junk food, or maybe they're going to go out and check out the mall or check out some store or go to a park or they do something. What else can you add to your daily routine to lift you up some? Ask yourself that. What can I do? I could take a walk. I could sit on my front porch and listen to the vehicles, you know, and smell the air, and wave at the people out walking early in the morning. If you're an early morning person, I don't know, maybe not, you know, or maybe you can make some amazing food. That if you love to cook, you can do these things. Turn on some music. I mean, I have an Alexa that is amazing, especially for me with not being able to see. I can ask Alexa all these questions. I can and I can get all this stuff. I have this app called Audible. Some of you might have heard of it, and with it, I can listen to it on my earbuds through my phone, or I can just ask Alexa to play Audible because it's hooked up connected to my phone where the app is. And there it is. That's Spotify. Alexa plays music for me. You know, I do all sorts of different things when I'm sitting at home. And my wife, it was at one point she'd be working and I'd be sitting at home and I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do? So I finally started getting up and making myself, you know, help out around the house, do some dishes, do some laundry, do clean the litter box, take out some trash. I realized, I'm blind. I'm not useless or helpless. I can do this stuff. You know, it's just like when I go to work. I go Wednesdays to my other office, and I sit in and facilitate a group with two other people, and we have this group of people that we work with and help them get a lifestyle change, try and help them find the positive, healthier way to live, and it works. It's an amazing thing when you can just tell, the light comes on above their head. There's suddenly a more brightness in their eyes, more smiles on their face. I know I can't see a smile, but I can hear when somebody's like, yeah, it's just, you can tell, the energy and the positivity. I have somebody that has been working, intern, employee. I don't know what actually the classification is for this young man, but he brings in so much positivity, happiness, energy, and it oozes off of him, and it just spreads around the room. You know, and I'm really kind of a little bummed out because I get to have him in the group this Wednesday, and I think next Wednesday, and that'll be it. He's still going to be working for the company, but he's going to take a few weeks off because he's graduating with his master's degree. Congratulations to that man. That is freaking awesome. What an accomplishment, you know. And then he's going to go back where he, is from, and he's going to spend some time vacationing, catching up with family and friends up there. And then he's going to be coming back to work for the company that I work for. And he is such a positive addition to the company. I mean, we are truly, truly happy that he agreed to work for us. I can't begin to tell you how much of a help he is to the people he works with. Awesome guy. I hope you guys all have somebody like that around you that, just brings that positivity because somebody around you, people around you that are positive, that are happy, that have that energy, that, giddy up in their step, you know, they bring it. Sit there and ignore it, absorb it. If you like what somebody's doing, If you like what somebody's getting out of their life, maybe you should figure out, what do I need to do to get what they're getting? A lot of people would say, you do what you do, get what if you do what that person's doing, you get what they're getting. Hmm, that wasn't that tough. But some of us, man, we are working our brains to the max, overthinking it, and not keeping it simple. We just need to keep it simple, folks. Now, if we overthink ourselves, we stress ourselves out, we depress ourselves, we get frustrated, we get turn sometimes into anger. I mean, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to have that energy, that positivity that lifts us up and says, yes, give me more of this. You know, be happy with it, embrace it, be grateful for it. Because, I want as much as I can get of that positive, feel good, gratitude kind of thing going on inside here. Because you never know when the day's going to come that there's going to be some bad stuff that's out of your control and it causes you to feel bad, sad, hurt, whatever it may be. Those days are bound to happen. But if I have the positivity, it'll help, won't do it for me, but it'll help me get through to the other side of this tough situation, you know? So keep in mind, y'all, you gotta, excuse me, you gotta keep working to build this fabulous thing that you want. My wife and I we are on the same page. We make an amazing team. I am so blessed to have her. You know, and we bring it. We're not near retirement age yet. Sometimes I feel like I want to retire and be done. Sleep in and get up. Then I'd probably get depressed and bored. And I'd have to do what I try and tell you guys. You go find that stuff you can do. I could go on disability right now. No, I don't want to do that. I've been there. I know what that feels like. It's not what I'm into. Some people they need that, but when they're on it, they also have to use their brain to think, what can I do to promote positive, happy feelings? What do I got to do? That's a question you ask yourself. I know Monday, when I go to work on Monday, it's going to be a challenging day at work. I got plenty of clients I'm going to be seeing. I got some other documents that I have to have completed for the next day, and I just got to going with it, keep going with it, keep going with it, keep going with it, you know, and build and be like, yep, I got that knocked out. Yep, got that knocked out. Yep, I've seen these people. I've got their notes in. I'm on it, and build and go with it. Don't just sit back and be like, oh God, I don't want to deal with Monday. No, don't do that. Wrong frame of mind, folks. Be like, yeah, I'm ready for Monday. Bring it on. Let's do Monday. You know, a lot of people, I've heard them say it on TikTok, and I don't do a lot of profanity, not on here, but, here's one of those moments, make Monday your bitch, you know, own that thing, you know. That's what I go through my head. It's like, I'm going to freaking have that Monday. I'm going to own that shit. It's not going to beat me down. I might come out of work at 5 o'clock and I might be, oh, but also, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's right. I did that. I got that done. And I'm going to go with that and be like, happy to see my wife when I get off work. We're going to sit and we're going to have a nice dinner and we're going to relax together. We're going to talk to each other about how our day was because this feels good to us. We enjoy that. My wife loves listening to makeup videos, but I'm not that into it. There's a couple of them I listen to, because it kind of helps me get an idea of what to buy for. When birthdays or holidays or stuff are coming up, like, this Sunday, tomorrow, obviously I'm not doing it on Mother's Day. I'm recording this on a Saturday, but tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I have to have an idea what to get my wife. I listen to this stuff about what she's interested in. I try and make that, okay, put file that in my notes. So later on down the road, I'll be at work and I'll get on the computer and we'll get something ordered, and it'll get sent to my work, and then pop, in a gift bag, or sometimes wrap it up. Surprise! Brings joy to her. You can hear the smile, the excitement. She gets happy. And that makes me feel good. So I know that if I can make my wife happy, it makes me happy because she does the same thing for me. Not with makeup. I'm not that. I don't do makeup. Anyways, she does the same thing for me. I mean, she says I threw her this amazing birthday party here, when she had her birthday here a little while back. And I was just like, okay, I didn't do that much, but to her it was a lot. And it brought her a lot of joy, you know. She got to spend time with kids, with grandkids, with, sister and brother in law, and all sitting down at a meal at a restaurant. She got some gifts, of course, makeup, you know. And I even took her on a mini shopping spree at a makeup place, one of the stores. And it brought her joy, you know. And now she is planning. Sometimes I feel like it's plotting, but it's planning some big thing for my birthday coming up in here in the near future. And I'm just like, don't have to do that. Don't have to do that. You know, because it's I've lost my vision. I haven't quite learned how to adapt to, what all it is that I can comfortably do. Some of it I have to learn to do. That is fun. I got a brand new phone that's supposed to be more accessible to those that are, blind or visually impaired, and it's supposed to have more voice control. And the one I got, man, I'll be sitting there with it in my pocket. It's all messed up. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I'll have it in my pocket, and suddenly it'll start to having some freaking, I don't know if it's some video coming on, or if it's or music will start playing, or an audiobook will start playing. I'm like, why is it that something's playing in my pocket? I know I locked the screen because I can't hear the clicks anymore, so I know the screen went black. Put it in my pocket, but then for some reason it says, "Hey, I'm back," and it starts playing. I said, okay, so I ended up, Voc Rehab, amazing thing for people that want to get, some assistance out there to, that want to go back to college or need some, special job training, or clothes for interviews, or some repairs on their vehicle to get to their job, or whatever it might be. Voc Rehab, best kept secret around, it feels like, and I wish it wasn't, you know something that I feel like has been kept a secret, because it has saved me in so many ways to help me get so many things that I want in my life. I've got assistive technology software for my computer at home, for my computer at work. They got me this new phone that's amazing. I think. No, I haven't tried it yet. I haven't got it, activated yet. I'm waiting, until not this coming week, but the week after. I'm going to get it turned on, and I'm going to get my wife the same phone, and put her on a payment plan, because they're pretty expensive phones nowadays. If y'all have noticed, going to a cellular phone store, and not just a Walmart phone, but you go to there, go and yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're both going to have brand new phones, and we're both going to, I hope, be really happy with our phones, and we're going to enjoy using them, and hopefully they're going to work out perfect, especially for me with voice controls. I have no idea how to set those up or use it, but I've learned there is something that does help me with that. Google. Actually, now it'll be called Siri, which I've never had an iPhone before. So that'll be a new experience for me. But we're going to give it a try because I've been told that, people that are visually impaired or blind or, you know, consider the iPhone to be more um, able to be accessed, So there's a good thing, more good, you know. I mean, I can sit here right now and probably sit for the next hour with you guys talking about all the good things that go on in my life. Some are little, some are big, but they're going on. They're working in my life. And like I've told you guys in the past, I don't do the big religious thing, but it sure feels like there's some kind of higher power out there, you know, walking beside me and helping me, succeed, accomplish, you know, survive, whatever you want to say. But it feels like it to me at times, And I was telling my wife with, the recent events from just the past week or two that have, you know, been so uh, much good fortune and happiness in our lives. It sure feels like there's something else, besides us putting in the footwork. It feels like something else is giving us some positive nudges in the right direction. And I am grateful for that. Don't know, just kind of a feeling I get. Like I said, not going to dive into some religious scriptures or anything about that. But it does. It feels like, I'm getting an extra hand up. And I am, one of those people, like I tell you guys in other videos, ask for help. Ask for help. Don't be stubborn, independent, bullheaded. I know some of you know what I'm talking about. Don't be like that. Just ask for help. Your load on your shoulders is lessened when shared with another person. Your load is lessened even more if you share it with two people, so on and so forth. So it would make sense. If I want to not feel this way, maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should step out of my comfort zone that isn't really comfortable because I'm not happy in it. I need to step out, do something new. And if it makes me laugh and smile and I get enjoyment out of it, I need to probably do it again. Maybe do it again. And you know what? If I repeat that process a few times, a comfort zone that I wasn't really happy in, that's about this big, it suddenly becomes this big because there's more added to it. And it's this new thing I've done that I've repeated, it becomes part of my comfort zone because now I'm comfortable doing this. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing it more. Well, try something going over this direction. Like it. Oh, I like this. Well, do it some more times. Add it to your comfort zone. Get some positivity building, people. That is so, I just can't stress to you guys enough. You know, we don't get it. Well, I guess that wouldn't be true. I get happy and a joy just sitting here with you guys talking about, you know, inspiration, motivation, drive, positive mindsets, you know, building on the positive, stomping the negative. I enjoy sitting in this chair. Well, I like a better chair, but this chair's okay. And I, I like, to share, what's going on with me and give you guys some suggestions. Hopefully, some of you have actually tried this or suggested it to a friend that might be having challenges in their life. You know, be there for somebody. You know, somebody's helped you in the past. Give back what was given to you. Pay it forward to another person. I've heard that many times in my past. Pay it forward. Somebody doesn't want, or you don't know who did this for you. Sometimes, I know my dad, he's a veteran and he, every so often he'll be in a restaurant and somebody at a different table will see he has a Seabees hat on, from back in Vietnam, or some shirt or something that indicates him being a war veteran, and he will just be with my mom, and they'll just be having a nice meal, just the two of them, and it's time to pay, and the waitress comes over and says, "Oh, somebody already paid your ticket," because they're grateful for what my dad did. Every so often, I'll be in a say a fast food drive-through. I'll ask, what's the price on that person's meal behind me? And they'll tell me, and I'll be like, put that on my thing too. And I'll pay it forward because people have done kind and generous acts to me and asked nothing in return. Some I don't even know who did it in some cases, but they've done it for me. So I should do it for somebody else, shouldn't I? Or should I be like, oh, that's right. I deserve that. I earned that. Yeah. No. I need to be positive and freaking pay it forward to somebody else. You know? It really, for me, makes me feel good because I'm, you know, giving back what was given to me, so many times. I just have to keep, working the deal, going forward. Don't go backward, keep going forward, So, you know, I want you guys to comment. I haven't gotten a lot of comments from people. I'm always interested in hearing, what do you guys do to build your positive, uh, energy? What do you guys do to stay motivated? What is your driving factor that, gives you the happiness that you want in your life? You know, tell me about it. I want to hear it. I really do. Tell me about that stuff. Tell me some suggestions. What else would you guys like me to talk about? I mean, I could talk about tons of things associated with that are inspirational and motivational and positive, and I want to hear from you guys. You know, and if you guys can, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends about my channel, Blind Hope with Rich. You know, tell them that check it out. You need something to listen to. My friend, that I've talked about several times now. He listens to me in his car when he's going somewhere. I'm like, I never would have imagined somebody would actually do that. With my videos. And that's freaking awesome. It made me feel really good. Me, real positive. And I want you guys to be able to do that. So get a chance, listen to my videos. If you like them, subscribe. If you think somebody else could use some of this motivation or positive, let them know. Get them hooked up with it. Get them subscribed. Because I tried to put one out that will post every Sunday. You know, once in a while, it might not happen. You know, but for the most part, every Sunday there's going to be one coming out, and we're going to enjoy it. You know, well, I hope we're going to enjoy it. I know I enjoy it. You guys are enjoying it also. So, also for all you makeup enthusiasts, check out Just Another Beauty Guru. It's my wife's YouTube channel. She's actually, right while I'm doing this one, she's in another room making her new makeup video she's posting tomorrow. So, give it a go, people. Reach out. Try and find the positive, comment. Give me some feedback. Let me know what I need to do, what I can work on. I'm always open to hearing what y'all have to say. But until next time, y'all be happy. I'll talk to you all a little later. Thank you much. Bye.